Hello, welcome back to another video on toiletry and toiletry accessories. I'm your host, Lord Fish. I'm a blender guy who likes to make stuff, so hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully this is going to work for you. We'll start off by doing your scaling. Do all your scaling for your game. Where you're going to put it, I don't know what your scaling is going to be. You're going to have to figure that out depending what you're using, what engine you're going to be using. You can set it after if you don't know. It's not a big deal. We'll start off with these. Grab all of those four edges. Make sure you're on edges up here and you're in edit mode with tab. And then we'll grab them one by one. And there we go. And we'll control B. And you can use the mouse and or wheel just by rolling it. You can change the amount of bends you have. And we're going to go for a shape that's pretty even like so. And we're going to go out of edit mode with tab. And we're just going to stretch this out like so. And then we're going to stretch it up like so. All right. We're going to go back into edit mode. And we're going to hit Control R. We're going to roll that mouse. And click. And then right click to let it auto center. And we'll move it up to the top and bottom. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Control R. And roll that mouse. And spread it out again. And we're going to hit S this time. And drag it in. And then we're going to use that. Actually, let's not. That's pretty good for now. Then we're going to hit Control R. And we're going to do one of the... Oops. Where did it go? I don't know where I put that. Sorry. We're going to hit Control R. And I'm just going to take this one, drag it down near the bottom. Because these are going to be a little bit different. So we're going to take this and bring it right into about there. And that's about what we're going to need. May want to flatten it with the rest of it like so, depending. And if you don't like this ugly bend here, we can hit Control R there and right click to let it auto center and just open it up just slightly, and it shouldn't be such a bend now, and we will fix it after. So let's just keep going. Control R again. Oh sorry, back in edit mode. Control R and drag this up near the top. Try to keep your gaps even between here and here. We're going to hit S. I'm going to bring it out a little bit. You know what we're going to do also? We're going to grab this one, Control or left click, then Control left click to follow it around again. And we're just going to drag it up, just giving it that edge up there. And then we're going to hit S and just drag it out a little tiny bit like so. Maybe up a little more. So there's a flat at the top and the bottom. I believe that's how most toilets are. Some don't have a rim there. If you don't want yours to, you can just widen it out like so. I think it looks better with, so I'm going to keep it. Control R. You might want to put one right in there and just a little bit S until you get a perfect little angle. And then Control R. We'll just keep on spreading those out nice and even. Don't have to be perfectly even, but pretty good is good. One more like that. Oh, too far. And then Control R, and we're going to start going in now. Sorry about that. Could be a little touchy. Control R, and we'll just work our way in again. That one's a little too far, so I'm going to just move it up a little bit like that. You can make adjustments, not hard. You can always re-highlight them after if you need to. So don't be afraid to make a mistake. That's part of learning. And we'll bring it in until we're comfortable with the shape. I think that's about right to me. You're going to have to decide for you how you want your toilet to look. Kind of looks like this lip's a little high here. You can always grab the whole face. Bring it down if we need to. And again, just Control left click, Control left click, Control left click. If you're happy with that edge and you don't want to wreck it, you can wait and not pull it down. But I think I'm just going to do one of these. And I think that looks a little better, but you're going to have to decide on your own on that. Go back in edit mode. We're going to grab this top face. We're going to hit I. And we're going to drag it in. And we're going to hit E. And we're going to let it go straight down. And then we're going to hit E. And we're just going to go down a little bit. And we're going to hit S. And then we're going to hit E. We're going to go down a little bit. The reason is that water jets usually run under the rim to clean the toilet. So You want to keep it looking accurate, we're going to have to follow the game plan here. I'm going to hit E again, bring it down evenly, E again. So you can see it's starting to poke through the sides, so we're going to hit S because we need to come in a bit. So we'll start bringing the toilet bowl in a little bit, and we'll evenly bring it in until we're at the bottom of where we want our bowl to stop. And that's probably about the right height for me. You may want to go more. You may think it looks a little different. Maybe we'll go one more. Oops. I think I pushed the wrong button there. I'm just going to go back, hit I. Oops. Must have hit E again. Let's just adjust that down here. Alright. And we're going to have to put a hole, but not go through the back of the toilet with it. So we're just going to make a cylinder here. And we should be able to turn it right here. Well, that's the wrong one. My bad. Seem to always do that. Alright. Make it nice and small. Okay, we got one more problem here. So we're going to have to grab the toilet face. And we'll go in one more time because it's just not far enough down yet. Something like this. Maybe we'll bring that in again with S. Something like that. I don't know. If you need to make a little modification because I didn't quite make it the right shape, you go ahead and do that. I think it's pretty close though. Alright, and we just want to put a hole in the back, but we can't go through the floor or the walls. So as we go in real close, we should be able to see where we're hitting and where we're not hitting. You can see we're about to hit on both sides, so we'll just go a little smaller. Use S to adjust it. Put it in farther. Oh, something like that. We could also go grab the toilet, hit Control R again, drag that up near the top, and maybe we can bring this in a little bit more. That might help a little bit for the look. It looks like we're just catching that front lip there. I just want to make sure we miss it. So we'll grab the piece, we'll grab the toilet after, we'll go to Object, Bool, and Difference, and we have our hole through the back of our toilet. Alright, doesn't come through the back of the shell, so we're good. We need a hole in the bottom if you really want to get into it, but that's easy enough. Just go to Faces, and drag it in. Decide on your hole size, probably about there. And, oh, shoot, probably hit E and go up in there if you want. And you keep going and actually attach them if you want, but I don't really recommend it. It's not really needed in any game unless it's a plumbing game. I'd say that's good enough for the look. So let's keep moving forward. So next we're going to have to make a tank on the back. And this shouldn't be too hard. Just kind of use the toilet to size this thing. And do something like this. Just try to make it about right. You're going to have to guess at a bit of it. I think it's about the right width because we stayed with the traditional block shape. We didn't really modify it too much. And I think it'll sit right about there. So maybe it'll be a bit taller. And you can go have a look at your toilet. You can go to Google and Google it just to make sure that you're making it the right dimensions. I think that's about right. Maybe a little taller on the top. I'm just going to have a guess at it for you guys don't have to wait for me to go look. Maybe a little thicker, I think. Alright, I think we got it. And we'll Control B when we think we got it right. And we're just going to kind of make it smooth here. You can use your mouse inner wheel if you want to add more curve or less. I think that's pretty smooth, pretty good looking toilet there. We're going to Control A, or Shift A, sorry about that. And we can just drag this piece up. Let's make it a little fatter, much more thin. And we're going to create ourselves a lid for this toilet. And this may not be the best way to do it, but this is the way I would do it. Because then the pieces definitely connect, they definitely belong to each other. And doesn't have to be exact, but I would probably look at it and try to choose a spot in between the lines. Something like that. Make sure it looks even pretty much all the way around. And then we will grab the second shaped object, bool, and difference. And we'll go into edit mode. We'll click off everything. We'll hit L over top of it. We'll hit P, and we'll hit selection. Then we'll click the piece. We'll right click it, and we will set its origin to geometry. And we should be able to have the original control movement point. And when we do stuff like this, S, when we stretch it a little bit, it should be easy enough to do. So we're going to do this. We're just going to make it a little bit wider, like so. So you got a pretty even edge all the way around. And then we're just going to drag it down. And that's going to be our lid for our toilet. Hopefully you like the look of that lid. You can make it more even if you want, but I think that they actually overlap and sit on top. If you really want to be specific about it, you can also hit Shift D, drag this up a little bit, and click this piece, object, bool, difference, and as you can see, there's now a hole. You can do the same for this one, Shift D, move this up a little bit, hit S, and you might have to even up the edges, but you can go ahead and bool the difference, and you'll have a perfect shape of the inside. If you really want to be specific, you don't really have to do this in most games because, or projects, because you're not going to get inside the toilet in most cases, but you never know. Let's do it here. You might have to get inside of that toilet. So, all right, so we got our toilet and our basic look, and yeah, we still got to do some work to smooth it out, but we got our basic look anyways. So let's do a hand. Oh, maybe we need one more thing too. We need to make some sort of toilet seat, I'm supposing. I didn't really think about that, but it should be easy enough to do. All right, buddies. Something like, oh, that's way too big, eh? Something like that. Let's move forward a bit. Go into edit mode, and we'll just grab those edges that we grabbed before, these four. Control B. Okay, maybe a little bit more round than the other one, just for the look of it. And let's flatten it out. And yeah, and depending how much work you want into it, you can make yourself a real designer toilet seat if you really want, but I'm probably not going to go that far. Just make a pretty basic one. Let's hit S. It's a little too big. Make it thinner. Something like that. Just make sure it's a little bigger than the actual toilet, or you can lift it up without having to touch it, because that's gross, buddy. Alright, Shift D, and we're going to make this our inner shape. So we're going to make it thicker first off, and then we're going to hit S, something like that, depending on your exact shape of your toilet seat. You can also come through the front. Some of them have an open little spot there for you don't smack your wee-wee. It's all up to you. This one's going to have a wee-wee smacker. So we'll put this down there. And we'll put it on right here. You may need to move this back a little bit. We may need to even add a little bit of a back piece here to hold that more. So maybe that's something I am missing. Not really sure, but it'd be easy enough to do, I'm sure. We can go into edit mode here, and we can just grab this pieces with face. I don't know where to, probably up to here. Let's check what this looks like if we move this back. Pretty bad, but it works. And I got it loosely. I must have grabbed it in the wrong spot. If you make sure you grab it on one of these arrows, move it out like that. Actually, it looks pretty decent-ish. And we can fix it up by Control R here and just let go of everything and just grab that one right there. Make a little... Well, that didn't really help at all, did it? Let's just erase that one. What else could make it better? I don't know. I think we'll just leave it like that and see how it looks when we shade smooth it. I think that's a little better for the toilet shape. Well, I think we moved this toilet lid a little too far forward. There we go. Alright, so we got a pretty good toilet shape. This might be a little too thick the other way, eh? anyways, play with it till you get the exact shape and you're covering your whole seat exactly. There we go. I think that's more right. And we'll go ahead and make a handle after. We probably go ahead and attach that, but let's not just yet, just in case. If you want to get a little more fancy with it, if you like real fancy toilets and you're like, oh, that's not fancy enough, there you go. You can smooth those edges and just by grabbing both faces and Control B, and it'll be a little smoother so you don't hit your butt off the toilet too roughly. And we'll get out of edit mode and we'll Shift A. We'll make another square. You're asking, why do you use squares so much? Because squares are the best shape. We're going to Shift D because I'm going to double use this square, baby. Alright, and then we're going to hit Control B. Oh no, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's go to edges and we're going to release by hitting Shift left click these 4 edges, leaving everything else highlighted. And then we're going to hit Control B. And it's going to give us a flat back. And I imagine you can imagine why we're doing that and how we're going to use that. And actually, let's leave it like that for now. And then we're going to make a handle part. So how are we going to do that? Very, very slowly. No, it won't be that slow, don't worry. I'll just kind of do one of these. And then we're going to go to edges. And we're just going to click that with left click and then Shift left click this one. We're going to bring those down like so. Alright, and then we're going to hit L over the whole thing to highlight everything again, and we're going to take off these back edges. Alright, and when you've done that, Control B, and when we get a good shape, you know what, let's stop right there. Let's go back, and let's hit this edge here, and let's take it just a little bit this way, because I believe these handles kind of lean away from the toilet as they go a little bit like that. And you can make those adjustments, no problem anyway. So L over top of everything. Again, release those back ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be good. And just make sure none of the edges flop over. And you'll see that when you go too far. And it looks pretty bad, so we don't want to do that. Okay, we want to make it a little thinner this way. Let's go in here. And I know it's really big right now, but we'll make it smaller in a second, and that's what she said. So we'll go ahead and Control J that, and that's a piece now. And we can just go S and shrink the whole thing. S, shrink the whole thing until it's around the size you want it. We'll bring it into place. Oops. Drag it on over. And slowly get in the right spot you need it. So you have your handle where you want it. Go a little bit on the outside. You don't want to go on the inside probably. Something like that. And you can leave it loose if it's actually going to be a functioning toilet. And if not, you can probably go ahead and attach it. That's completely up to you. I'm going to attach it. If you're not, do not follow this step. I'm going to grab everything that's loose basically. And I'm going to grab the toilet last. I'm going to hit Control J. Making this all into one handy dandy little piece. Now our toilet's one piece. Congratulations. Right click it, shade smooth it, and we're going to go over to normals and we're going to just try to make it look a little bit better. We'll hit 35. It's not good to leave it under 30 or above 75. And we're going to click auto smooth after. And as you can see, I think it's a pretty nice toilet. I think anybody would be happy to use that dandy of a toilet. And you can go ahead and make a couple adjustments if you need to and see how they look. If it looks a little better, like you can see that edge drop there. And you can see it looks a little bit better when you bring this one in, maybe a little further. Bring this one in a little bit. And there you go. It looks pretty good to me. Make any adjustments you need. You might need to adjust that more if your angles aren't working out. I think it looks pretty good. We can go ahead and color it. Alright, so we've gone to our coloring on both sides, and we're going to go ahead and add our first color, which would be, I'm not going to make it white, which it's going to be in my game. I'm just going to give it a color slot by making it this yellow color, and that way I can see things a little bit better and any adjustments we want to make. And we'll probably go ahead and make the toilet seat. Oh, sorry, we're going to make sure you're in edit mode, click off everything, and we're going to hit L over top of the toilet, and we'll make it a separate color. And again, you're just giving it a slot so this doesn't necessarily represent your color in game. And if you want to make like a two-tone or a multi-tone toilet seat, here now is the time probably. You could probably go to faces, and for example, you could probably do that and just hit left click, then control left click to follow it around, control left click. And you can make a second color if you really want to make a really fancy toilet with like a racing stripe on the toilet seat. I don't know. In case you're in a hurry and you're one of those people. There you go. You're ready to race, baby. Okay, now again, that's optional. You can just leave it one color, depending how you use the toilet. L over top of this, L over top of this. We're going to make these the same color. Usually they're silver color, but you can, again, just give it a color slot and assign that when you get it in your game. We have a pretty handy looking little toilet. One thing I could suggest is if you really want to get into some detail, we could add the traditional bolts that come out of the bottom. We'll do that real quick just to give it that more official toilet look that you've all been craving. Alright, something like so. Alright, something like that. Let's just keep it in one spot for now. And we're going to hit Shift D. And we're going to hit S, and we'll shrink it down this away. You know what? I kind of want to use a square for this. Okay, let's do that actually. Let's go. We're gonna change this a little bit and make this bolt a little better. So hopefully this is a good plan for you guys. We're going to hit 0, 0 on both locations. And we're going to drag it up like so. Where we can see it, we're going to hit Shift A, we're going to make ourselves a square, and we're going to drag it up also. We're going to hit S, and shrink this down until you can see the bolt. It's probably about right, but let's go a little smaller. Something like so. We're going to hit Tab, and we're going to go to Faces. I'm going to click this. We're going to hit Control B, and while holding it, just roll your mouse out the opposite way that you did before, for you only have one face on each. And here we have made a traditional bolt shape real easily for our bolts. And I'll just do one of these, and we'll grab that piece and we'll hit Shift D, and we'll drag it through. We'll grab that piece, we'll bool it. Difference. Grab this and we'll drag it down to about this there. Hit S a little bit for it's a little bit bigger, and there's the tiniest gap in between the two. We can go ahead and Control J to join it now. And again, this is only if you really, really want that official toilet look and you're craving it. You can't get enough of it. There you go. Here you go, friend. And we can move that other edge down and make it flat if we want. We can also bool this shape out if we want, but maybe that's what we'll do actually. No, we'll leave it like this. Let's just drag it up like so. And we'll Shift D, and we want to put it on the opposite side. It's really easy to do this since we've only moved one way. Just add a minus over here. We have them both perfectly in place. And go ahead and join them to the toilet. Control J. Go back in edit mode. If you want to do two different colors, that's fine. I'm just going to do silver for both. I'm going to give it a separate silver in case I want them to stand out more from the handle. So I'll just add a second silver, and it's just a slot to be able to adjust them later again. So there we go. We got our toilet. If you're liking what you see and you're enjoying your toilet and you can't get enough again, then come back again in our next video. We'll do sinks, and we'll move on to showers from there. Leave a comment if you'd like to see something specific. If you want to see something else, if you're enjoying the video, you can always let me know. Make sure you thumbs up today if this helps you in some way and it's going to help you in your toilet dreams. And make sure you subscribe for more fun videos like this one. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.